Welcome to Learning from Leaders, the show where we dive into the minds of today's top thought leaders, coaches, authors, speakers, and entrepreneurs with your host, RJ Horner. Each week, we explore real conversations, powerful lessons, and actionable insights to help you grow, lead, and make a lasting impact. Whether you're building your business, your brand, or your influence, you'll find the inspiration and strategies you need right here. Let's dive in and start learning from leaders.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode from Learning from Leaders. I'm your host, RJ Horner, life architect, helping you build your life by design. So let me take you back for just a moment. I once worked with a leader who was, on paper, wildly successful. The metrics were strong, the results were undeniable. From the outside, everything looked right. But behind the scenes, something was broken. People avoided him, conversations felt guarded. Team members did what was required, but nothing more. There was no ownership, no creativity, no loyalty whatsoever. His leadership worked until it didn't. Now, years later, I think about another leader, someone without the title, the status, the recognition. She led from the middle of the organization, yet her team consistently outperformed expectations. Why? Because people felt safe. They felt seen. They felt supported. And that contrast taught me one of the most important lessons on leadership in my life. Leadership isn't defined by authority. It's defined by how you influence, serve, and take responsibility for others. Here's a question I want you to sit with as you listen today. When people experience your leadership, do they feel pressured or empowered? That one question alone will tell you more about leadership than any performance review ever could. Because leadership shows up long before titles do. It shows up in conversations, in decisions, in how you respond under pressure. Whether you realize it or not, you are influencing someone every single day. The real question is how. At the very least, you're leading yourself, and how you lead yourself can determine how you lead others. So let's break this down in a practical way. If you strip leadership down to its core, you'll find three essential elements that work most together: influence, service, and responsibility. Not one, not two, but all three. So first, let's talk about influence. Influence is unavoidable. If you interact with people, you are influencing them. Your tone influences, your consistency influences, your reactions influence. Leadership is not about whether you have influence, it's about how intentionally you use it. Here's where many leaders go wrong. They rely on influence without reflection. They use position, expertise, or urgency to push out outcomes. But they don't stop to ask, what is this influence doing to the people around me? And am I building trust or creating fear within my team or my organization? Influence without awareness turns into pressure. Pressure might produce short-term results, but it erodes long-term trust. That's why influence alone is never enough. That brings us to the second element, service. Service is what humanizes leadership. Service means asking, how can I help this person succeed? What support do they need to do their best work? And how can I remove the obstacles instead of becoming one? Service shifts leadership from me to we. Service shifts leadership from me to we. And here's something important to understand. Service does not mean weakness. It doesn't mean lowering standards. It doesn't mean avoiding accountability. It means leading with the mindset that your role exists to create conditions for others to grow. Great leaders don't ask, how do I get more out of my people? They ask, how do I invest more in my people? But service on its own can still fall short. That's where the third element comes in, responsibility. Responsibility is what grounds leadership in integrity. Responsibility means owning the outcomes. It means making the hard decisions. Responsibility means addressing issues instead of avoiding them. And it means modeling the behavior you expect from others. Leadership becomes ineffective when responsibility is outsourced or ignored. If influence is the engine and service is the steering wheel, responsibility is the brake. It keeps leadership from becoming reckless, reactive, or ego-driven. Without responsibility, service turns into people-pleasing. Influence turns into popularity contests. Responsibility ensures leadership stays aligned with values, not emotions. So here's where it all comes together. When influence, service, and responsibility operate together, leadership becomes something powerful. People don't just comply, they commit. They don't just follow through, they contribute. And they don't just perform, they grow. That's the difference between leadership that gets results and leadership that creates leaders. So let me give you something practical you can do right now. I want you to define leadership for yourself, not philosophically, but functionally. Here's a simple exercise. Take a piece of paper and complete this sentence. Leadership is the responsibility to influence others by blank in order to blank. Don't rush it. I want you to think about this. So now that you've written that definition, let's run it in through the three filters. Does this definition include influence? Does this definition reflect service? Does it require responsibility? If not, revise it, because your definition of leadership will eventually shape your behavior. Now, I want you to audit your leadership in real life. Ask yourself, where am I influencing without serving? Where am I serving without holding responsibility? And where am I influencing or avoiding influence altogether? Growth doesn't happen through guilt. It happens through awareness. And awareness creates choice. So here's what I want to leave you with today. You don't need a title to practice leadership. You don't need permission to serve well. You don't need certainty to take responsibility. If you influence people, even one person, you are already leading. The choice you have is whether your leadership creates pressure or possibility.
Are you ready to step into your full leadership potential? To grow as a leader who inspires, empowers, and makes an impact? Welcome to the Beacon Fellows School of Leadership, a place where emerging leaders, coaches, and changemakers come together to master the skills, mindset, and strategies to lead with purpose. Through our immersive programs, you'll gain proven frameworks for building influence and authority, hands-on leadership development tools and workbooks, personalized guidance from experienced facilitators, a community of like-minded leaders committed to growth. Whether you're looking to lead a team, launch a movement, or simply grow in confidence and clarity, the Beacon Fellows School equips you with the skills, strategies, and support to shine as a leader in any arena. Join us today and start your journey to becoming a leader who leaves a lasting impact. Visit www.beaconfellows.com to learn more and secure your place at the Beacon Fellows School of Leadership. Your next step as a leader starts now.
At the Beacon of Leadership, we believe leadership is not about being elevated above others. It's about lifting others as you go. So let your influence be intentional. Let your service be genuine, and let your responsibility be consistent. Because when those three things are aligned, leadership stops being something you do and becomes something you are. So join us again next week for the next episode of Learning from Leaders. We have a lot more to come as well. We're going to be launching some interviews soon from those who have come along on their journey. They've learned some lessons, and we're going to take those lessons learned and share them with you. Stay tuned for more. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If it inspired you, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who need to hear it. We invite you to join Beacon Fellowship School of Leadership, a community of your peers learning and growing together. Visit www.beaconfellows.com. Keep growing, keep serving, and keep your light shining bright. Most of all, never stop learning from leaders.